Hi everybody!
Hi!
Welcome to Moonlight Ponderings. I'm Ronnie Moonborn.
And Severine.
And what are we talking about today, Severine?
We're talking about the interesting man-made crystal versus raw crystal. And also treated crystal in the man-made branch, I guess. So basically, there's kind of a divide between people that think crystals that come from a lab are not as magical as crystals that are coming from the ground. So.
I have mixed feelings about it. I see where people are coming from because we've talked about this a little before. The crystal is in the earth, so it's absorbing the natural powers of the earth. But I also see that you could charge a grown crystal. Because from my understanding, I believe someone told me once, and I could be completely wrong, but I believe I was told that the ones that are grown in farms and stuff like that are made of the same materials that you find out in the wild, I guess. But I wanted to use a better word, but it's eluding me right now.
To me, I think it's just about perspective, because really, once it's not in its natural, where it came from in the ground, it's no longer really natural. It's been removed from its original location. And it's just about how you twist the argument, really.
Well, there's people who argue also raw versus polished. And let's be clear, polished is prettier, in my opinion. You get to see the gem more. I like raw, don't get me wrong. I have emerald that's raw because it's the only way I could afford emerald.
Personally, I like some raw stones better.
I agree,
like
actually, now that I think about it.
Clusters are really pretty.
Like an amethyst cluster is prettier in its raw form.
But that being said, I'm not picky about that, because if it's carved, it's pretty. And what, honestly, I feel like picking a stone is like, is it in tune with you? And is the stone something that is speaking to you? And
also, certain cut stones have to do with geometry, and geometry has something to do with certain energies.
Yeah,
and
it's just like the argument too that once you've added the heat-treated metal to like the aura crystals, there are people that think that's actually kind of a non-kosher thing, that it's no longer messing with the crystal's energy. But, you know, a lot of people wrap stones in wire, like copper wire and stuff anyway, so you're really just doing the same thing, in my mind.
I agree. I feel like, because metals are considered sacred also, and have their own elements, or properties. Properties was the word I'm looking for. And that can actually add to, in my opinion. And as far as, like, grown in a lab, I feel like it's still technically an emerald, and certain deities are attracted to emeralds and like emeralds, and I feel like that deity would still like that emerald, like it still represents them, you know? And as far as like cost, the grown in a lab are cheaper, and if you're going for more of just pretty accessories, I am all for just using the grown. You don't have to tell anybody that it was grown in a lab, because really they're not going to know like that.
I mean, like, it's one of those discussions where you can kind of see multiple sides of things, because on the one hand, I could see feeling like if it's grown in a lab, then there's kind of like the energy's not there.
Well,
but
like opalite is not natural. Like the actual, for those of you who don't know, opalite is a pretty, like, it's a milky colored glass that's been treated so that it has this rainbow shimmer effect in it, which is supposed to copy the stone opal. Now, Opalite's so much cheaper.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Opal, I have 2, and I've done a crystal, one of my crystal videos, one of the Crystal Mondays is on opal, and I showed, like, you get a piece of opalite that's about this big versus a piece of opal that's that big.
You mean opalite? You said opal twice.
Oh, okay, so opalite's this big. You know, and that's about a $10 piece of stone, or maybe even
No,
$2.
it's like it's $2-3.
Yeah, like nothing. But then you get an actual opal that is maybe the size of your fingernail. You can barely see it, and it's $30. $30.
Depending on how many colors are in it too.
Yeah. And while we were in Asheville, we saw a Boulder opal, one that was actually like. And because you have to think that opal, with any stone, you have to think that when it happens naturally, specific events have to occur for the stone to form, and usually over a long period of time. Opal is a stone that comes from water. So it's like fossilized water. I don't know the exact process of how opal is naturally from, all of that. We'll look it up, maybe get back to you. But I do know that the process means that it is super expensive. And the same with natural bismuth.
I was just about to say that, yeah.
Yeah.
Like bismuth, I hate to break it to you, but if you guys own bismuth, it's not natural.
It's not. If it's that pretty rainbowy color, it's not a naturally growing bismuth. Because the natural growing bismuth is kind of like a pale color. And it's pretty too, but it's not like if you ask people what they think of when they think of bismuth, most people are going to tell you it's that fabulous thing that's like really colorful.
But and almost like obsidian is the same. Most pieces of obsidian you've seen have been altered in some way. Either they've been melted down and reshaped, or have been carved and polished so much. Because raw bismuth is just glass, guys. It's all it is it's lava glass. And
You mean obsidian?
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's okay. It's okay. Hey, I just said opal and opal, so I can't.
I'm also tired. But like
but yeah, I think that I can see how people feel like something that is a natural process that takes thousands and thousands of years to occur has a powerful energy connected to it. I could see that. But then, to be fair, on the other side, science is a pretty powerful energy too. And
I would argue I wouldn't want, like, if they were to make malachite, I would want that.
I'd want an actual.
Malachite doesn't come from the earth. Like, technically, it comes from space. So I would rather have that celestial energy.
Yeah.
I will say that. There are certain stones I'm a little funny about. Like, no. Like, quartz. It's very rare to see true clear quartz. That's expensive. It's so expensive. Like most times you see a white quartz, it's kind of foggy. As that's quartz's natural occurrence. If you see a crystal ball and they claim it's quartz, now we've been to places and they actually told us what it is. It is quartz. It just was ground up and melted down to get it clear. And then reshaped into a ball.
Because most people, when you say it's a clear quartz, they want it to be clear. They don't want the little natural fogginess to it. But I see it, but I would also say that, I would never tell somebody man-made is awful, because personally I have a lot of man-made or heat-treated stones, and
I have heat-treated stones. I don't think I have many man-made
other
than the opalite.
Carborundum and bismuth are the two big ones I can think of off the top of my head that I have.
That small piece of bismuth you gave me.
Yeah.
It broke off her big piece.
It did.
They're sister pieces.
So I think that, to me, you have to kind of think about what speaks to you as a person. And for me, I just go off of what energy the stone itself is giving me. And is it giving me a positive energy? Is it giving me a negative energy when I pick it up or whatever, you know? If I feel the need to take it with me, I'm going to take it with me. And I'm not going to be caught up about where it came from. Because really, if you're using it for magical purposes, the intent is kind of the important thing.
I agree. Because back in the day, also, when witchcraft was in its very early stages, early witches weren't going out looking for amethyst or quartz or something. They used actual stones in the earth and used it to symbolize what they wanted to. They empowered those stones. And that's another thing I kind of wish people would kind of remember about old magic, is that you don't necessarily need all these components. You don't need a diamond to do a spell. You don't need this. You just need to have your intent and your will be strong.
I mean, if you want a diamond, no one's going to stop you. Other than maybe your paycheck.
Your bank account might say no.
Yeah,
I mean,
but I'm not going to personally tell you not to get a diamond.
I think diamonds are gorgeous.
I think diamonds are overrated.
I think they're pretty. I don't understand the whole, you have to have a diamond ring for an engagement or something like that.
Yeah.
Because I know some people, they would rather have just a pretty jewel. Like, I think didn't your sibling use moonstone?
Yes.
And I like that. Moonstone's
beautiful.
beautiful.
It was beautiful too. It was like super opalescent and iridescent, and it had all of these gleams.
I wanted to say that. Now, natural stones can have opalescence in them. Which just means it has this rainbow sheen going through it. Which means some opal was starting to form in that stone. And had that stone stayed in a certain environment long enough, it probably would have formed.
Yeah. I think with anything, it's kind of just taking into consideration.
A lot of fluorite has opalescence in it.
Yeah.
You'll see.
Yeah. I think that it's about what really fits your needs, and not feeling this. Excuse me. Not feeling this pressure to pick because, oh well, these people say, or this book or whatever says that I should only be using raw crystals.
You know what I would love to see grown? Some labradorite, because then it'd be cheaper and I could just have it because it's pretty.
I'm sure there's probably lab grown labradorite.
I mean, I've never come across it, but I'm just saying, and it's not even for spell work, it's because it's pretty.
Yeah.
Love it.
Labradorite is gorgeous. But,
let us know how you feel in the comments below.
yeah.
No judgment. No one's right or wrong.
No.
Also, tell us your favorite stone and why.
Yeah.
And also, give us some things to talk about. You know, it literally gets hard sometimes because we do both work, have other jobs, and we also love hearing from you. You guys just don't know. We might not respond, but it's because we see it at work and then forget. But, I mean, that's literally what happens. But we see your comments and it makes us ecstatic, so please comment.
Yeah. We're really excited to be getting the feedback that we are, and really appreciative of our fan base.
Excuse my phone, I forgot to put it on silent.
At least it's like a calming ding sound.
It's your soul awakening and feeling peace. But, as always guys, hit that like button and subscribe, hit that notification bell. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
And Tumblr.
And as always, stay magical.
Bye.